Feeling your side. I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? KCE, King Chaka.
King Chaka ENT. Y'all can check out the music on Spotify, Apple, and other services. Hey, how y'all doing out there? How y'all feel? Remember, an educated public cannot be controlled. Learn to be active. This is a test of our global broadcast system. Hold on, y'all. Let me see. Our global broadcast system. I want to make sure we're good. I changed locations and I got a Wi-Fi booster, and I want to make sure that everything is working right. Because last week I ran into a whole lot of problems, and it's frustrating as hell. Because I do a lot. Y'all think this is easy, but it's not. So I'll be doing a lot. I'll be thinking heavily, and then I'm researching stuff, and I'm playing videos, and I'm clipping. I'm basically doing this all by myself. I mean, I have the help of Pat, Doc, and Deuce, but you know, it's a lot going on. And when it starts freezing up or things don't go the way that they're supposed to, it breaks my rhythm, and I really have a hard time. So it makes it very difficult. And I get frustrated, and I just wanted to end the show. And that's the reason why I didn't do a second show last week, because I wanted to make sure I had everything up and running. What's up, Pat? How you feeling?
Oh man, feeling pretty good, bro. How about yourself?
I can't complain. I cannot complain.
Do you hear background noise?
Yeah. It's probably Kenzie. Can you close the door?
No,
And what? No, I'm talking about the door to the room.
I'm talking about on my end.
Oh shit! This probably is you. I can't. I do. It's not that bad though.
I'll be heading back to my truck in a few minutes anyway. So.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm just kind of this is a soft opening right here for the show. I just want to make sure everything is running full cylinders. I'm gonna play some clips from different the different sites that I use just to make sure everything is good. Let me play this right here.
It makes it illegal for Americans to use TikTok, but it does a whole lot more than that. It gives power, unfettered power, to unelected bureaucrats in the Commerce Department to tell us what social media apps we are or are not allowed to use. It gives them access, unfettered access to our data, our browsing history, how we're using different apps on our phones. And it basically criminalizes the use of VPNs with some pretty serious consequences. And they're doing all this in the name of national security. Yeah. Now, this sounds a whole lot like what we saw with the Patriot Act. We as the American people need to be smart enough to not fall into this trap again, where ultimately we have, again, people who took an oath to support and defend our Constitution, our civil liberties, our rights, but they are hell-bent on taking those rights away, and dangerously in this bill, the Restrict Act, not even allowing us to challenge their actions through our court system. Yeah. This is a very serious bill that threatens the very foundation of our democracy and our God-given rights that are enshrined in the Constitution. And we cannot allow them to do this again.
You know what's even more scary? That co-signers like Lindsey Graham didn't even know they had co-signed on this bill. That these big decisions that are affecting our civil liberties and our freedom are being decided by a bunch of staffers instead of actual senators. It was embarrassing and humiliating, and he should be embarrassed about that.
That he should be. And that is where we have to hold these elected leaders They work for the people. We're the ones who
Amen.
get to hire and fire them, and we have to hold them accountable to do their job.
Yeah, I wish there were a lot more Tulsi Gabbards in there. Tulsi, thanks so much for joining us.
She's making a good point right there. Man, it's a lot going on. The Texas judge outlawed the abortion pill, basically made it illegal nationwide. Texas judge did that. And then later I want to talk about the guys who, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I said, can he do that? But then I was going to go ahead and finish.
He did it. It's done. Yeah, because he said that it was he said the FDIC approval, the FDA shouldn't have approved it or something like that. So he kicked out the FDA approval. So it's no longer FDA approved nationwide. So like, that's interesting. Like, how could he do that? Like, it's a lot of things like that is going on that makes me wonder, because the way that those two Tennessee legislators got expelled for protesting. I'm gonna talk about that more because I got a bunch of clips on that. But the in Tennessee, those two guys, they got kicked out of the legislature because they protested with the gun, protesting guns or whatever. So they went to the protest. So then the all of the Republicans and Democrats, they voted to get them out of there. And it's like, for me, that, like, besides the gun issue related to that, besides that, it's like people elected those people to go in there and represent them. You know what I'm saying? And then the other members of the chamber can just kick them out like that. So, like, it seems like that's a problem with democracy. Like, is that democratic? Like, there's a problem there.
Well, I think when you are supposed to be a leader and you have a bunch of people coming, like, it's a lot of disorder on their Capitol building. Like, not that they protested at the Capitol. It's like people are, like, some people are running it. Like, it was a lot of disorder there. So, like, for them starting it, them being the ones who saying, hey, come on guys, you do this, they're the ones who, like, this is just like what they're trying to say Trump did. So I mean, how do you respond to, do you allow, just because these are Democrats now? Like, no, like, if anybody does that type of thing, like, it's got to be checked. And I don't think that they're like, they can't come back, but are they well, yeah, and I guess an expulsion is they can
Yeah, they stripped them of their committee seats, and then they kicked them all the way out. Like, I don't know if that can be overturned or whatever. Like, it sounds like it'll have to be another election to fill those two seats. Yeah, it's got to be something. I don't know. That just happened. So
I'm sure they can appeal it and plead their case. But I mean, most people, like, I think they almost pretty much admitted that, yeah, they were a part of that. But as many, because see, this is just the idea, because I mean, we're talking about just the expulsion, that's one thing, but the fact that they're protesting to get rid of guns, and you had, like, it's nothing that says that banning any kind of gun is going to do, like, there's nothing that proves that that's going to change anything, and people just want to do it just because that's what they've been programmed to think is the problem. That's not the problem.
But I'm not arguing the gun thing at this moment. And what you said earlier about the Trump protest, I mean, the protesting is okay. I don't have a problem with that. The problem with the January 6th was that they went and smeared poop on the walls, and then they was trying to get at Pence and all of that. Like, that's going too far. Going on the Capitol and protesting and expressing that you have a problem with the way things are going. That's okay.
Then, I mean, also with people trying to run inside, they don't know what's going on. Like, they pretty much, and then it's like, okay, what, 100 to 1, that's out there protesting. Like, they're in danger. Like, just think about how many, based on how many cops to how many people. Like, you started something that, and then I'm just gonna be my opinion. Like, Democrats are way more dangerous and angrier than
I would say that
person.
That comes with the territory. I mean, you want to be elected official, then you're gonna have to everything that comes along with that is what you're gonna have to deal with, as far as that is concerned or whatever. You need to get security. You need to get security. What you know, people should be able to protest. That shouldn't be a reason to, you know.
Well, but at the same time, it has to be orderly, because even if you want to come in and speak, like this, only so many people that can come in at one time, and if people are just coming in and there's no like th- I think that there has to be a certain way that it has to be done than just, people showing up and then thinking that they're supposed to be heard. Like, really, like, people really supposed to hear you at the way, the way that you're coming. So I mean, if they had some order where they had people that was the people actually can come in and actually speak, it can be recorded, it can be, what I'm saying, it's not mayhem going around and people worrying about their lives and trying to hear what you got to say to, like, that's you're asking for too much at that moment, at that point.
Yeah. Let me play a YouTube clip because I want to go through the different apps that I use to make sure it looks like everything is flowing good right now. So I'm liking it.
It sounds good. It sounds real good, bro.
Let me play some of this right here.
Now, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Israel's military launched airstrikes over southern Lebanon and the Gaza Strip, after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu promised that Israel's enemies would pay a price for any aggression. The strikes followed rocket attacks on Israel from Gaza.
YouTube is doing that before.
And from Lebanon, in the largest such barrage since 2006.
I wonder why.
Women
I wonder why. I don't get it.
Sustained minor injuries.
I don't know why it's doing
Palestinian Ministry of Health in Gaza said Israeli airstrikes hit a children's hospital.
And it only does that when I'm broadcasting, because when I played a YouTube video, that was the first thing I did to test this, and the YouTube played perfectly fine, no freezing or nothing before I started the show. So it only does this while I'm broadcasting. That's weird.
Hospital east of Gaza, terrorizing medical workers and patients, but causing no injuries. In the occupied West Bank, gunmen opened fire on a vehicle near an illegal settlement near Jericho, killing two sisters and injuring a third person, their mother. Meanwhile, tensions were high at the Al-Aqsa Mosque in occupied East Jerusalem ahead of Friday prayers after Israeli soldiers were filmed beating and tear gassing Palestinian worshippers earlier this week during the holy month of Ramadan. Later in the broadcast, we'll speak with Mohammed El-Kurd, Palestine correspondent for The Nation magazine.
And they do this every time. So there was the internet is pissed, the pictures that came out of the guys praying at the Al-Aqsa Mosque and getting like stepped on and pushed over and all of this, like it's like for no reason. So, but then that pisses the people off in Palestine. So then what do you think they're gonna do? So then I heard something about some rockets or whatever, and then they started bombing like they do. The retaliation. So it's an instigation. Like they push them to the limit, and then when they retaliate extremely way over the top and extremely harsh.
No, it's not extremely harsh, because I mean, when you that's one thing, bro. Like, you go and step on somebody, like their response, you can't, what I'm saying, you can't judge somebody else's response based on how you did. Like, you started some shit with them and they come back and they, you pushed them over and you did this and that. But I mean, when you think about it, when when you're interfering with somebody's God and their ability to pray, or while they're praying and this, that, and the other, like when they're at their weakest point, like they're, being, very, what's the terminology? Just the fact that you caught them in a very
vulnerable moment.
That's the word. Very vulnerable moment. Like, bro, somebody come kick in my door while I'm taking a shit, and they go in there to try to steal some cookies, but I come out shooting. You can't be mad at me because that's how I reacted to what you did. Oh, I just wanted some cookies. I was like, yeah, I just want to protect my shit.
Yeah. I agree with you. But what I was saying was, is Israel the one that responds way over the top? You know, after they
Well,
instigated the whole thing, they went and started
I
bombing and
don't
shit.
care. I don't care who. Well, because Palestine was mad because of the way they treated them, and then they come back. Their response to, because I mean, Israel, and that's the thing. Like I'm more upset with us on with that whole Israel thing. Like they would not do everything that they're doing if it wasn't for the support we're giving. Just like with Ukraine.
Hmm.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like, you know,
that's
they
100% true.
so it's like we're the people that we're funding militarily are not nice people. They're not good people, bro.
I'm telling
And
you.
that's who we're trying to, lift up.
And if
No,
it
and
wasn't for,
us as a people and we keep saying, oh yeah, we we back in Israel. Do you know why? Do you just backing it because of what the people are, what the bullshit lies they tell you,
yeah,
but
yeah,
you
they
don't.
lied to the people, and then the people supports this stuff, and it's like you get shunned if you say, "Hey, wait,
eh,
should we be doing this?" They're like, "Oh, shut up, you
eh,
don't know what you're talking about. You're anti-Semitic or whatever," and then they wouldn't even be able, like the first comment you made was so true. They wouldn't even really be able to do what they do if it wasn't for the U.S. support. They wouldn't be able to do it.
yeah,
They would run out of bombs. They would run out of this. They would run out of that. So,
they wouldn't have any.
yeah, that's a really sad situation. I want to play something on Twitter to do my final little check on this. So it looks like YouTube is still kind of tripping. I was getting away from playing clips from YouTube anyways.
Yeah, I feel you. Because I mean, it is a little bit irritating. Not because I mean, it's the good clips that you can find a lot. Because I mean, there's good ones other places, but YouTube usually has some good shit. Like that's where I get most of my material. The shit that I
Yeah,
send, most of it comes from YouTube. But
yeah. But it's like I'm
it's
competing
fine.
with YouTube. So and then I
Yeah.
get problems. I get problems with the copyrights and the strikes and stuff like that. Freaking Twitter works better. Let's see. Am I
Well,
sharing?
is it because of the fear us not giving a disclaimer up front every time, or is
I don't think that's it. It's just, they have their bots that record and they catch little, it's usually sounds, the sounds that trigger it, and then they'll be like, because I'm on YouTube too, so it's like a competition. And then people do rip off other people's videos and just
no? I
repost
I
it and they
I
get
know.
money, views, and whatever the hell off of it, which is fucked up. But that's not what I do here. But still, the reason why it's like that is because of people doing that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know all about that.
Let me play
But
this. New York Times: demonstrators flooded the Tennessee state capitol on Thursday with loud chants of gun control now and not one more outside the House chamber. So this is what caused the ouster of those guys because they were involved in this. Let me play this. A little bit of freezing up there. That's kind of fucked up. So and I want to talk about this
well,
more later, but you see, it was the two black guys and the white lady. They're walking through the middle, supporting the protesters. But they ousted the two black guys, and the white lady got to stay. She didn't get kicked out. So that's kind of an interesting dynamic related to this.
well, I mean, I'm gonna tell you, bro. if it makes you feel any better, all three of them should be gone. But I don't really know the specifics of what actually, I don't think it's just that they were protesting. There was something that they did to break. They broke some sort of law,
I don't know what law
or
that
they,
is.
or they endangered because of their, because it's like they're the ones that's riling them up when they should actually be the ones that's, trying to, make sure things stay calm and this, that, and the other.
I don't know. Well, it was inside the chamber. So it says the lawmakers faced expulsion by the Republican majority for participating in a gun control rally inside the House chamber. So I don't know. Maybe it's because they were inside the chamber and they were supporting these people. I don't know. But you see, there's a trooper right here in the middle of this clip. I mean, I don't see him ushering people out of the room. Like he's just standing there.
Look, one of the things I don't think people realize and understand about the law, like, okay, like, we're a group of people that has different viewpoints. We have our, we have the right to, choose our own religion. We can, like, we have all these different rights. But the thing is that at some point somebody feels that they can take away somebody else's right because that's what they'll be doing. Like they're trying to step on uh because just them being there, the whole First Amendment, they want to use their First Amendment to get rid of the second one.
That's interesting. That's an interesting take. I don't know if one is more important than the other. Maybe. Well, the First Amendment came first, so
if you get rid of the second one, you lose the first one. Because at some point, because like it's all a political ploy. They've been doing this for a long time, and it's mainly because a group of people, people that can't defend themselves are going to get taken advantage of. It just is what it is. And people make stories. There's no proof that less guns makes less killing. It just doesn't. And then we're talking about trying to get rid of people who have legal guns is not going around killing people. Well, I guess there are some, but I mean, you think about it. I mean, there's going to still be the idea of illegal guns that's still around. Which, what are you going to do? You're going to have good faith that with all the crime and stuff we're dealing with now, that all of a sudden it's just because you took the stance. All right, I'm gonna give up my guns for this thing. Everybody don't believe in the shit the same way, so they still gonna people still gonna go and do what was happening anyway. Like, bro, you'd be better off being able and I really believe the psychological part of it is that the more that criminals know that the average person does have a gun, the less likely they're gonna run up on you.
Yeah. Well, you know where I stand on that argument. Freaking, I saw this clip from MMA. I mean the UFC, and it was a transgender dude beating the shit out of this chick. Like he fractured her skull like in 33 seconds in the beginning of the damn fight. Like I don't see the clip, but it's probably good that I don't see it because it really pissed me off. Like it made me feel some kind of way. I already don't like the UFC stuff off top, but then that's a whole nother level of gross and
I don't mind the UFC, but see, like this whole idea that like science isn't science anymore. Like, laws of the universe, it just doesn't exist anymore because of how somebody feels. It's fucking bullshit, bro. And this is the type of shit that you're feeding into when you're trying to just, like if you want to do this on your own time, and as long as you're not affecting anybody else, do what you do. But when you come and trying to, like, you think that you're supposed to be, like be able to participate in female sports and you were born a dude, just because you dress like one and you try to act like one, and you know you want people to see you as one, does not mean that you are one.
And
I,
I
and I
think it's so
and it doesn't
insane
it doesn't
where we've
matter if you have
gotten.
the surgery or not.
It's like, how did we get here? And it's like, okay, looking out for them to be able to transition and not be, raped and killed and mutilated in the street is one thing, but allowing them to beat the shit out of fucking, natural born women in a sport it's and you
Because
watching
they
it and
can't because they
enjoying
get
that shit.
and that's
It's
because they
that's
can't beat up because they can't beat up a regular dude. Like, they want to feel joy of winning, but they're fucking losers anyway.
only a
You're
loser would
fighting a
do something like that, to make you feel good about beating up on this woman. Like, it's really just abuse, women,
but yes,
abusing women.
yes, it
That's all you're
is.
really doing. That you probably would have been doing that. You probably was doing that before you transitioned, and now you want to have a freaking
Well, no, no,
green light to do it.
this gives them the this supposedly makes it right. Like, you get
Yeah.
laws that does this, and then, like, any lawmaker that agrees with this is trash, and they don't belong. And because, I mean, I just feel like you're just trying to fulfill an agenda that is like a loss for humanity. Because if one person has to suffer for someone else's um I guess rise, bro, that's no. And like, we used to have more certain standards of life, of things here in America. People used to look up to us as a guiding light, but bro, like, that's totally diminished now. Like, totally. Like, the rest of the world, and the only people that go along with it is the ones who said it, the other countries who's helped America get to where it is, like, that has used the benefited from the destruction of America.
Fucking insane. And it's like, how the hell did we get here, man? Let me look at my notes. Because the last minute I usually choose the title of the show. I got a couple titles. Maybe you can help me choose the title of the show right quick, because I'm gonna exit out and start over. One of them is how did we get here? I was thinking about making that the name of the show. How did we get here? I've been thinking about that a lot. I'm gonna just throw a couple titles. This one, it says addressing root causes, success measured in dollars, it's not you, it's me, complex dynamics, embrace reality, integrity. So, would any of those jump out to you that you'd like to hear more about?
Or I can offer one, because those sound. I like the first one, but where do we go from here?
Where do we go from here?
That's what popped up in my head. Where do we go from here? Like, all this shit, bro.
Right. So that's gonna be the title. I'm gonna exit out and set up. It might take a few minutes, and then I'm gonna come back on.
That's fine. I'm gonna go and clean up my little mess here and head back to the truck so I can. I don't have to interrupt other people that's here.
All right, man. Peace and love, and I'll be back in a few minutes.
Peace and love.